Pumps a fastball. It's going to be lined in the second baseman. Henneberger has it, and the Senators have won it. Burrows lines out to Henneberger, and the Senators have captured the 28-plus finals and their first championship in 22 years.
I mean, the team we had was pretty incredible. Crazy run. The whole season was really just it was pretty awesome to watch. You know, I more or so the backup catcher. I help Orazio manage the team, so my playing time was limited, but I did get to manage a few games and help the team in that way. And yeah, like I wrote in the article, you know, for the league webpage that you know, we started out 2-5 on the year. It was looking pretty grim to start, and then the team just took off. You know, we picked up some guys from the Merrimack. They played back in Merrimack College, so their friends recruited their other friends from Merrimack, and they immediately just all vibed and went on a crazy run. Finished in 4th place in the division, and then the postseason, you know, was just one of the best postseasons that I've seen in the league. Just extra innings, drama. It had everything. It was pretty special.
I was going to say Mike Smith is definitely front and center to that. I mean, 3-1 record. I think he pitched a 12-inning complete game, if I remember correctly. I mean, just talk about what his impact was to the team and what you saw from your perspective as well.
Oh, I mean, he was everything. Unanimous MVP. The series he had was incredible. You know, we always were used to playing against him. He played many years for the Spartans, and he shut us down every time. So once we learned that he was finally on our team, it was it was pretty awesome. And we knew that he was going to, you know, be special and help us. Maybe not win a championship, but we had high hopes as soon as, you know, he came on the team. And yeah, we recently finally got to celebrate our championship. Orazio for years said if we ever win that he's going to rent out a party bus, and he finally did that. And we gave him a little tribute on the bus. We actually played back. I created a compilation video of all of his 3 walk-off hits. We played that on the loudspeaker over the bus. And I think Smitty was pretty happy to hear that. It was pretty cool. But yeah, the series he had was just, I don't think it could ever be duplicated. It was unreal.
Yeah, and are there any of your other teammates' performances you kind of want to shout out as well, just throughout the season, or anyone that kind of went maybe under the radar as well?
Yeah, so Evan Valcourt, you know, he hadn't played in like at least 10 years or so. And I think he drove by Trump Field and he saw us either playing a game or scrimmaging. And he contacted Orazio and eventually got on the team. He hadn't played in, like I said, 10 years. And then he started back a few years ago. Didn't have a great first season, but these past couple seasons, he certainly came around. He had a couple big home runs in the postseason for us. Yeah, I remember him hitting pretty well. Mike Sorrentino was an absolute stud. He caught almost every game this season. Definitely caught every game. Not every inning in the postseason. He came late to one game. But, yeah, and then that 12-inning game, 13-inning game we had, he caught every single inning. He had a couple big hits, I know, in the final game. But I mean, our lineup 1 through 9 was pretty damn good. And wow, his name is suddenly I'm forgetting his name. But our 2-hitter, geez, I can't remember his name. I don't know why.
I mean, it sounds like you guys had a stacked team, and should be a fun future, regardless of what that looks like. So, before we get to that,
so actually, speaking of future, I actually retired from the 28 plus division. So going out on top. But the good news is I'll now get to umpire in that division. So obviously you can't umpire in any division that you play in. So, but I'll now get to, umpire in that division. It'll be weird umpiring some of their games, but yeah, it'll be fun. But yeah, going out on top, retiring from the 28s. As people know, Mike Smith, the MVP we just talked about, is taking over for Razio. He's got big shoes to fill. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but Mike Smith taking over the team. Razio also retired, going out on top. And I know he's been recruiting, and I'm hearing that they're going to be pretty damn good this season too. So hopefully they can pull off the repeat. I think that would be Chomsky. That's his name. I can't believe I had a brain fart. Sorry. Nick Chomsky, rookie this year. Just a stud for us. Played solid shortstop. I think he had a few home runs during the regular season. He was a stud for us and a great pickup.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I saw the news about Raz retiring. I didn't realize you were retiring too, so that's I guess news to me. And
You gotta
I don't
watch
know
my
how much it is.
podcast, Whitney.
Oh, okay. Well, I must have missed that episode. I apologize.
I'm just kidding.
But and obviously you've had a busy season and with the podcast and stuff. Is there any anything that you kind of looking back want to do more of, or anything you want to tease coming up as well?
Yeah, I mean, we have some big ideas, and a couple weeks ago we had Jim Joyce, Dale Scott, a couple of former MLB umpires, and once you start getting bigger names like that, you want to go bigger and bigger. It's not that easy to lock down, as I'm sure you know, to lock down some big names, but at the same time, it can't hurt to try and reach out. But I would love to get some, former Red Sox players, maybe even current MLB umpires that are umping in MLB right now. That would probably be a little more difficult. But yeah, there's so many different guys or women that we have the potential to interview. But we've done 32 episodes so far. It's been great. I've always wanted to have a podcast. It took me a few years to finally get it started. But it's been fun. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely been a lot of fun to talk to all these different people.
I was going to say, now as also an umpire too. I mean, you get to meet all kinds of different. Well, I mean, not meet, but you get to, I guess, connect with different players and coaches across the league in a different way because you kind of see it from a different perspective. So I don't know if you want to kind of talk about that a little bit and what that's been like.
Yeah, and once you get other umpires in the room, it's like a clique. Umpires, they could talk forever about games, about umping, the ins and outs. So that's been fun, and it's easier to get an umpire on the show because if they know you're an umpire, I think umpires just love talking about the game, the art of umpiring, what it takes to be a good umpire. So adding that piece into it. And I never thought I'd be an umpire in a million years. If you told me 10 years ago that, I'd be in my third year umpiring this year coming up, I'd tell you were crazy. But it's been fun to learn that side of things. It's like a whole different ball game, being on the other side as a player. And dare I say it, lately I feel like I've been having more fun umpiring than playing, and I think that's just a part of me getting older. But yeah, I've really been enjoying the umpire side of things. It's been fun.
Yeah, and I was going to say, just to go back to Raz for a second, him retiring, for those who kind of didn't follow your team or maybe haven't been around your team at all, how do you describe his, managing style and, what he meant to you guys? Because you kind of talked about it or briefly talked about it earlier, but I don't know if you want to add more to that because definitely he was a big part of you guys doing what you did last season.
Yeah, no, I mean, most of the reason why I continued to play with the Senators was because of Razio. He's the one that brought me in, asked me if I could help manage early on. Yeah, I mean, he was with the team, I think 18 years, 15 of those he managed. His record, I forget exactly what it is. I wrote an article on him recently, but his win percentage was like 60 or 70%, something crazy like that. Um, Very well respected by his players across the division. He's also the 28 plus division commissioner. So, he's got a lot of respect in that regards. But yeah, it's going to be weird. I mean, I'm no longer playing 28s, but I'm sure it'll be weird um, for those players to play without him there. Like he had a very loud voice. You couldn't not know if when he was at the field, a very Boston accent too. So, um, yeah, I'm sure the guys are going to miss him, but he's still going to be around. He'll be there at the games, I'm sure, and especially the post game celebrations at Trump Field in the parking lot. But yeah, I'm happy he got to go out with the trophy. I know that was the biggest thing that he was hoping for years. You know, that's all he's wanted. So it's great to see him uh, going out on top.
And of course, you also, besides obviously the podcast and manage or playing with the Senators last year, you're also having a couple other roles. You won a championship with the Woburn Nationals. You're now going to be manager or our manager of the Metro Red Sox as well. So kind of talk about what that incorporates in, or what that means for you, and how do you have to balance all of that? Being a board member too. I mean, you can kind of talk about any of those roles, but anything in specific that you want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot. Every year I say I'm going to drop a team, and then I seem to pick up one more. But yeah, like I said, I finally retired from the 28s, so I'll have more room to umpire. But during the summer, I'm pretty much every day is baseball, whether it's umpiring game or playing in a game. But yeah, I joined the 45 plus, which is now actually coming over to the BMBL. That used to be part of the Babel, Boston Amateur Baseball League. Um, but they are coming over for this year, the 45 plus, and we also added a 35 plus Central Mass division that's also coming over. So we're gonna have six total divisions this year coming up, which is pretty cool, especially when you see that other leagues are struggling and folding, and we're growing, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I've been in the 45 plus division. I think I'm going into my third or fourth year. Got to win a title a couple years ago. We made to the finals last year. But we lost to the Giants, who are a great team. Um, but I know we picked up a few guys and hoping to make another run there. But a lot of those guys also play on my Metro Red Sox 38 plus team, um, and yeah, 38 plus division is going to be great. It's going to be another competitive year, especially adding these new two divisions. I'm excited. It's going to be um, a good year.
As I said, the Metro Red Sox specifically have won 10 titles themselves. So how do you
Yep.
get back on top in 2026?
Yeah.
And who's
Unfortunately,
going to
I
be the key
wasn't
to
a
that?
part of any of those titles. But I was happy to carry on the legacy. Mark Moise ran that team for a number of years. I mean, they've had a number of different managers over the years. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's tough to recruit. 38 plus. Very few. Solid pitchers that you're going to find in the player pool that are over 38. It's just the reality. So it just comes down to networking, hoping that guys will bring some of their friends that play ball. Occasionally, you get someone that signs up on the player pool that moved. Um, I think the Cy Young winner last year was a guy from the player pool that the Somerville team picked up. So they are out there, but it is a lot of work to remain competitive, especially in a division that is already competitive. But yeah, it's been fun managing the team, and yeah, we should be hopefully pretty good this year. We picked up a few guys, but it is a very competitive division. But like I said, this year I think is going to be great overall.
Yeah, I was going to say the importance of networking. I mean, that's how I kind of found you guys is, I got connected with you and then we just started broadcasting games together. Me,
Yep.
filming and stuff. So I mean, you've seen how that works with just finding media connections. I'm sure that's true of baseball too, and just figuring out ways to get new people on your team is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I remember. I remember when you first emailed. I think you sent a message to our Facebook page, and I'm like, Whitney, wow. Not often you get females that are interested in learning more about the BNBL, and I think you were in your grad studies, and you needed this for credits, right? Um,
Yeah, exactly.
so I was like, wow. So this Whitney chick is going to show up to one of our games. I was like, all right, cool. And then you came, introduced yourself. I was like, oh, hey, Whitney. I'm sure you get that a lot, but
Yeah, quite a bit.
yeah. Um, and then we became close. We did a lot of live streams. I got to be in your wedding party, which was awesome. Um, but yeah, you know what you've done for the league has been fantastic. I know what you're doing with this podcast. You've written articles and done videos after video. So, we certainly appreciate all your work in helping to grow our league. You're certainly part of that as well. And I think you're even on the About page, right? You're
Yeah,
a BNBL
exactly.
sideline reporter.
Yeah, no, and it's been great just to be able to. I mean, I want to, like you're doing with your podcast, try to get more people from across different leagues, not just the BMBL, but other leagues across Boston and the Northeast region, and
Yep.
see what can come of that. Because there are stories out there that need to be told, and it's just about finding them. So I'm sure that's something you agree with as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, just finding people to be on the show. It's a lot of work, as you know. And my original idea for the podcast was to just have a podcast that was associated with the BNBL. Because there's a league out in Florida, MSBL league in Florida, that started their own podcast, which is what gave me the idea. Um, and they go on weekly. They just talk about what's happening with the league, any updates on scores, standings, injuries, all that stuff. So that was my original idea. But then I was like, well, how many people outside of the league are going to care about that? So that's why I wanted to make it a little bigger. And then, being an umpire, and then my good friend Matt Giblin was an umpire, and then Angie, one of very few female umpires. I was like, why don't we start a podcast, from the umpire perspective, which I don't think has really been done or out there. Um, so yeah, it's been pretty fun to do that and talk to so many different people. We had the dancing umpire on, which was fun. Vincent. We've had a lot of good guests so far, and we're hoping to have even more guests, this year.
Yeah, it should be a fun year, and I look forward to seeing where that goes. And for both of us, I mean, who knows what kind of connections we can get and how that'll turn out down the road. So, should be fun. Just to go back for a second, so in 2007, you said you played for the Tigers, who were in the 18 plus division, and you called them "quote unquote" nasty in your own words. And you eventually lost the Cutters for the 18 plus division title. So, kind of talk about what you remember from that and what was the reason that you guys lost and what you learned from it too, because I'm sure
You had
that
to bring that up.
that had to be a little bit painful, but also like they're it must have been pretty historic too.
Oh
And
yeah,
something that you remember.
sadly, it happened 19 years ago now, and it's something that I know myself and my other teammates think about uh, more often than we probably should. But yeah, 2007. So I used to run the 18 plus Boston Tigers, and 2007 we merged with was the Dodgers team back then, and they were a pretty nasty team. So we picked up probably three or four of their better players. One of them is actually in the Hall of Fame, Kevin Beliveau, um, and we just went on a nasty run. Our team was dominant, and we made to the finals. We went up 2-1 in the finals against the Cutters, who are still around. They're one of the teams, I think, one of the longest tenured teams in the league. In addition to the Senators, that was run by Jeff Coveney, our league president, for a long time, and he was running the team back when we played in the finals. And So we're up 2-1, and our number one, Rich Ladarchik, was on about 3 or 4 days rest. So I had the option to start him and hope to win, the fourth game, take the series, or rest him, go with our number 2, number 3, hoping to pull out a win. But if not, then we'd have to go to a game 5 where, we'd have our number 1 versus their number 1. So I made the decision that I'll probably never forget or let go, but decided to go with Rich on number 1 on 4 days rest. And I don't want to say it backfired, but a couple errors here and there, and they came back to win the series 3-2. And it was pretty devastating because you're up 2-1. You're pretty confident that you're gonna close it out, and the team that we had was, like I said, nasty. So yeah, they came back to win it, and yeah, it's something we talk about to this day. It is, and then I felt like the Red Sox I felt cursed after that for a number of years. So to finally win my first after 19 years. It was pretty special. I would have loved to win it with the Tigers. I love those guys, but just wasn't meant to be.
We talked about before, or maybe mentioned before, we broadcasted many playoff games together. Do you have a favorite postseason game or favorite postseason performance that you've broadcasted, and why?
Oh, well, I mean, like I said, this postseason, I didn't get to broadcast it, which was weird and rare. Because normally I'm broadcasting most of the playoff games, but obviously, with the Senators being in the finals, I was not able to do that. And I want to say that Mike Terrio and Matt Giblin did a fantastic job in my place. But that series was, like I said, one of the best postseason series I've seen in that league. I haven't, unfortunately, haven't played in many postseason games. In that league, or at least past the first round, enough that sticks out to me as a great memory. Obviously, the 2007 Tigers season that we just spoke about, that was incredible. Even the third game, I remember I came into pinch run for Kevin Beliveau, who's in the BNBL Hall of Fame. It was a tie game in the 7th inning, and I pinch ran for him, and I'm sorry, Beliveau was at bat. I think I pinch ran for Earl Murphy, who was our catcher, not the fastest guy in the world. So I represented the winning run, and Kevin Beliveau was up. I think there was 2 outs, tie game. It was game 3 of the finals, and Beliveau singled, and I just came rushing home. We walked that off. That was a moment that was pretty special. My whole family was there. We were pretty pumped up. That we took a 2-1 lead in the series. We were pretty confident we were going to win it, and I just told you how that all turned out. But yeah, that's always a moment that I remember. I was pretty excited. It brought me back to high school memories, and even before then. But just getting to call all the games, honestly, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fantastic games this year. And the 28 plus specifically was one of the better postseasons that I've been a part of.
Yeah, and then of course, I mean, last year too with the Angels as well. That postseason run was incredible, and that's probably one of my favorite. Besides, the Mike Smith postseason run. Even though I didn't get to watch every single game, those kind of the two that stand out of all the time that I've been doing this since 2021. So I'm sure those are right up there for you too.
No, yeah, thank you. I completely forgot about that, because last season just, it was more incredible than the one before, and the Angels run was absolutely incredible. I think they took out both the 1 and 2 seed. They went undefeated. Just an incredible run. And Brock Riley was that was his rookie year, I think, and he won Cy Young. He won Cy Young again this past year. He was dominant, and that run was incredible. And we faced them in the 28 plus. We faced them the last 3 years. So every playoff we've had to play them. We beat them in 2023, the first round, and then they beat us the year after that. I think they swept us, last year, and then we beat them this past season. So we're up 2-1 series. But yeah, we can't seem to get away from the Angels. We seem to play them every year in the playoffs. But it's a fun rivalry.
Yeah, and then of course the Brock Riley versus Mike Smith 12-inning duel.
Oh.
I mean, that speaks for itself.
That was unbelievable. Brock Riley to go, because Smith came out in the 7th inning. He had 13 strikeouts, which I think was a postseason career high of his. And then for Brock to go back out in the 12th inning, I think he threw like 150 pitches. And I spoke to him after the game. He's like, I wasn't coming out, no matter how many innings the game went. So, yeah, that performance was up there with one of the best performances I've seen from a pitcher. He was locked in, and after 150 pitches, you're gonna get tired, and he just happened to leave slider up over the plate, and Smith took advantage. But yeah, that was an incredible game to be a part of, and we almost had to cancel. We almost had to postpone the game because the lights were about to go out. At Trump, there's a permit, I think 10:45, and I'm pretty sure we're very close to that time, and we thought we were going to have to, continue the game another night, and fortunately, Smitty changed all that for us with the big hit.
I was going to say that wouldn't be the first time Trum's had a game almost. Well, no. We had one not canceled, but interrupted, I guess. I think 2 or 3 years ago that I was there for. I think you and I were both there for. So I don't know if it was a playoff game or if it was like a rematch, like the beginning of another season. I forget what it was exactly, but it was.
Well, last year, if you remember Game 5, the lights went out, right?
Yeah.
The lights went out, and that game got delayed. In that game, to talk about that briefly. So I was playing in my 45-plus finals while the Senators were playing Game 5 of their finals. And during my game, obviously I'm wondering what's going on, a 28-plus game, because this would be my first championship. I want to be there to celebrate it. So I'm playing in the 45-plus finals. In between innings, I'm watching the live stream that you guys are doing to see, get updates. So not only am I nervous about playing in 45-plus finals, I'm also just as nervous watching the live stream. And the game was, back and forth game. And fortunately, I was able to get there just in time to join the celebration. But yeah, that was a crazy night. I would have loved to have been part of the whole game, but yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of talking about obviously the 4 champions across all 4 divisions. Who do you think has the best, or of all the 4 teams, who do you think has the best chances of repeating, just based on what you've seen? And I mean, I know you might have a little bias with one of them, but
maybe,
just if you can look at it, overall, like, repeating champions is hard. Obviously, the Orioles obviously make it look a lot easier than maybe a lot of other teams, and
yes.
Same thing with the Maka Rays. But realistically, who has the best chance of repeating, and do you think each one will repeat?
Obviously the Orioles is the first team that comes to mind. They've won it the past 3 or 4 years. Every year they're seemingly in the finals. Chris Curry runs a good squad and does some good recruiting over there. I would love to see another team that it's always them and the Cardinals, it seems, in the finals. I would love to see another team come in and give them a run for their money. But based on, and I'm not trying to be biased, but based on what I'm hearing from the Senators, I think they added a few more the Merrimack guys, the former Merrimack guys. So I know they're going to be good. I'm sure the Angels will be solid again. Spinners, Bombers, always solid teams. But just the way the league's growing, honestly, any team can win it. The 28-plus division was probably the most competitive that I've seen, last year in all my years playing in this league. And truthfully, I feel like any team could really come through. But obviously the Orioles comes to mind. They're always, in the thick of it. I'm hoping the Senators can pull off a repeat, but it should be again a great season. And 28 plus is one of the better divisions, I think, in Boston. And anyone in that division can win it. Same with the 38s and now the 45s. So I think we'll see maybe one or two repeats this season, but it remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean that's why you play the game, right? You never know what's going to happen. I mean, the Expos are a perfect example of that.
Oh yeah,
No one, I don't. Well, maybe not no one. They probably were very confident that they could do what they did, if not more. But you never know. I mean, baseball is one of the most unpredictable sports out
yep,
there. Hockey there too, but baseball, from what I've seen, even in the major leagues too, you never know.
never know. Yeah, Expos, they went on a unbelievable run. Um, yeah, taking out. I think they took out the 1 seed, the Bombers and the Spinners, just like the Angels had done a couple years ago.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was, and they put up a hell of a series against us. Dan Shaw was their ace, stud pitcher. I think he went 3-0 in the postseason. He beat us. That our only loss, the playoffs, our second loss. So he was pretty dominant. But yeah, the run that they went on was incredible, and the way that they won. I know Game 3 in the semifinals to walk it off. They were down to their last strike, and then to walk it off, I think they scored like 3 runs in the last inning. It was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I should probably have Shaw on my channel as well, on this
Yeah,
channel as
he's
well. I'm gonna
solid.
have to add him to the list of people to interview. So, to anybody watching, look out for that later in the season. Or Shaw, if you're watching,
Yeah,
hit me up,
do it.
because I'd love to be able to have more people from all the teams across this league, and like I said before, beyond that. So we'll see how that ends up. So I guess next question is, what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given from anyone in this league, or any kind of players or officials that you've interviewed, and why?
Yeah, so I don't know many people know this, but I was actually not really even a catcher when I started playing in this league. So I was drafted back in 2003. This was back when we used to have outdoor tryouts. We'd get a couple hundred people to show up to try and make a team, and then after the tryout, there would be a draft. So all the managers from the teams would be there, and we'd have like an official draft based on the performance of the players at the tryouts. So I was a second baseman. I was always a second baseman. Maybe caught a couple times in high school, and I show up and there's like 50 infielders. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to make a team or stand out if I try out as an infielder. And there was only like 3 or 4 catchers, so I had no gear, no catcher's mitt, no nothing. I think I had to borrow it from one of the guys. But I knew I had a solid arm. We didn't really hit. We didn't show off our offense or anything like that. But I knew that if I could show off my arm, that was a good chance of getting drafted. So I went and tried out as a catcher. And fortunately, I was drafted by Brett Rudy, who one of the admins of our league. I was their first pick. There was some White Sox, 18 plus White Sox. So yeah, it worked out. And then I had to learn how to catch. And fortunately, I had teammates that kind of helped me along the way, because it wasn't natural for me to block balls, throwing out runners. So I had a lot of teammates in the early years that helped me learn, basically teach me how to catch. And I think a lot of the guys were surprised to learn I wasn't actually a catcher, and I got drafted as a catcher. And that's how I started catching. But yeah, I've had a lot of teammates that have helped over the years, and I try and give back. Either whether it's umpiring and giving back to catchers, high school, at the youth level. I try and as an umpire, you can't really teach too much, but I'll try and give advice here and there if I can. Pay it back.
And I mean, speaking of giving back, I mean, the 100 innings game is a big part of the big thing
Great
that you're a part
segue.
of.
Great
Yeah.
segue.
No, I did not plan that at all. The way you were, that wasn't pre-planned or anything. But I mean, in all seriousness, a 100 innings game, raising over 1 million dollars for ALS research. I mean, that speaks for itself. But what does it mean to be a part of something like that?
Yeah, I mean that event is awesome, and the fact that they finally got to do the documentary on the movie, the 100th inning, that was pretty cool. Definitely emotional. Um, I know it got me a little teary eyed, but yeah, I got to be part of the very first one, and I've been doing it ever since. I think maybe I missed 1 or 2 years, and back when I was in my 20s, it was a lot easier to do 100 innings. My body can't do that anymore. And I don't know how these Ironmen like Angie and Zach, usually like 20 or 30 of them that play the whole game. I don't know how they can do that. Back when I was in my 20s, I used to catch 20, 30 innings and, I'd be hurting, but, it'd be a couple days, but it was worth it. So to know that we reached $1 million mark is pretty crazy and pretty incredible. And I'm glad it's still going. I know Brett every year says it's going to be his last, but I know Walter Benson won't let that happen. But it's a great event and something to look forward to. Before winter comes, when the season's over, it's always great to hang out with the people that play in that game over on the third base side.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if it reached 100 million one year, but and maybe it will. I mean, we don't know that. I mean, any amount is important. So sorry, I misspoke earlier, but definitely it was great seeing it that it reached over $1 million and being able to, like I said, raise money for such an important cause and a deadly disease like this. I'm glad that you're a part of it. I'm glad to be a part of it the last few years as
Yeah,
well.
and you finally got to play. You finally got to play in a game.
Exactly.
Taking at bat. I missed. I wasn't. I don't think I was there for it, but I saw. I think I saw the video. Or was that winter ball? I know you
The
played in
winter
winter
ball,
balls.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
should get into the 100 innings too.
You
Now
need to.
next year.
Yes,
So
yes.
we'll work on that. But maybe I'll get in better shape as well so that I can actually run the ball
The
out a
great thing
little
about
better.
baseball is you don't really need to be in shape. Trust
Yeah.
me.
But yeah, no, I mean the other thing, I asked Angie and Zach this as well, is like what kind of things are you doing during the 100 innings to be able to stay and play all 100? Because like you said, it's harder to do it as you get older. But like, what are you doing, or are there any secrets to being able to stay to do that? As you get older, or just in general, like how do you keep playing all 100 innings? Any food,
Called
anything
Red
like
Bull and Adderall. No,
that?
no. I mean, like I said, I used to play 20, 30 innings behind the dish. And I remember one year I was literally seeing three baseballs. The pitcher would pitch, and I was literally seeing three baseballs. And I always reminds me of the movie Rocky. It's like hit the one in the middle. I tell myself just catch the one in the middle. I was literally seeing three baseballs coming. I was like, I probably need to take a break. But back then, you didn't have many catchers that came. Now it's great. We have multiple catchers. I don't really need to catch as much. But what's cool about that is last year or 2 years ago, for the first time, I got to play and umpire in the game. I think me, Angie, and Matt Giblin, my co-hosts on the show, were the first ones to do that, to both play and ump. So that part's cool. I get to change from my baseball gear into my umpire gear at the time slot that we were assigned, and then we work a 3-hour shift with usually a 5-man crew, which is rare. That never happens. But so yeah, that's pretty cool to be able to kind of do both play and but the next day, no matter how many hours you play or how long you're there, you're hurting. You're hurting.
Yeah, I mean, good thing it's like I said, for a great cause, because it's worth all that pain is what it sounds like to me from everything I've heard from everybody I talked to, and there
Yeah.
are a lot more people dealing with, you know, yeah, a lot of people dealing with a lot, in regards to that disease. So it's worth it.
And you were
Worth
there a
it being
long
there.
time this past year. I think I left pretty late, and I think you were still there, like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I think I left it probably, yeah, 2 or 3. I forget. One year I'll have to try to do all 100, but
Yeah,
depends. It depends.
uh, and I wish you were around to see the first ones. Like the the changes that haven't, like when we first played, I remember we literally had one small grill that we would use to like cook food and stay warm. Now you got multiple tents, you got industrial sized grills. Mike Soul had rented a trailer, and he cooked up a storm. So yeah, if you get to see like the first couple of years that we do that, there was no tents, no nothing. We literally had one grill to stay warm and to make food. And now people are bringing tents. Like I said, Soul brought a trailer, a huge grill. The cooking that he did was top notch. Yeah, it's from that point of view, it's been pretty crazy to see how that's grown, and people have smartened up, and got to stay warm.
Yeah, no, and I look forward to seeing how that develops over the years. I'm sure people get more creative. maybe
Yeah,
maybe you'll get catering or something at some point.
It's wild. If someone was driving by having no idea what was going on, like you drive by a baseball field and you see a bunch of tents and grills and a trailer, it's like what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
And I just wish that you could do it during like the summertime. That would make it so much better. But obviously, it's not possible with the season going on and all that. But I know there's been a couple of years it's been warmer than usual because it is in October. So overnight it gets pretty cold, but it would be fun to just experience it one year, 80, 70 to 80 degree weather, but I know it's not exactly feasible.
Yeah, and another great event you got to be a part of as well, the EMASS movie that came out in this last spring, I believe, or not came out, but you had a showing of it down, I believe, in Southern Mass. I forget the exact town.
Yeah.
But that and then the movie event in Somerville as well. So kind of talk about what it was or what it meant to you to be a part of that. And yeah, I believe you got to umpire it, if I remember correctly.
Yes. And it was a long game because I realized when I got there that these were not ball players. That most of the people that acted in the movie were actors and not ball players. So the game lasted a long time, and I didn't really know much about the movie, to be honest. But it was cool that they got to reenact the movie. The game went on for a long time, but there was a good crowd. I think they had a food truck and they had announcers, up in the booth. So yeah, that was a pretty cool thing to be part of, and getting to umpire. I still think the 100th inning was a better movie, but that's just a Siskel and Ebert in me. So I mentioned earlier we're adding 2 new divisions. So I think we're at 37 teams across the 4 divisions last year, and we're added at least 12 to 14 new teams with these 2 divisions. So I think Brett did the math. We put out an article that the league's growing about 37.8%, I think, because Brett is very specific. So again, it's pretty cool, especially when you see other leagues that are struggling and folding, which we don't want to see either. But to know that we're growing is pretty cool. And because we have so many divisions, as the webmaster of the league, I'm actually working on building a new website for the league, because our current design isn't really fitted for 6 divisions. So I'm working with Jeff Coveney, our league president, to build a new web presence, which should be pretty cool, and hopefully it'll be ready for the 2026 season. So yeah, and we're trying to do more live streams. I've been wanting to do, Alex Koppelman, I know the director of the 100th Inning movie. He has a drone. I've been wanting to do some kind of videos with the drones during the live streams. But yeah, I want to do some more exciting stuff when it comes to social media, videos. I think there's a huge opportunity to help grow the league in that regard. In 2026, everyone's on social media. So, and I think players enjoy seeing highlights, of themselves. So yeah, hopefully we can do a little more with that on social media as well.